is it? NFC South?
South.
Welcome, everybody, back to the James and Dame Show. I'm Will James.
I'm Josiah Damas.
Long pause. And we are continuing our predictions before this NFL season kicks off. And we are continuing with the NFC South.
Yes.
South. If you like what you're seeing, drop a like, comment if you hate everything we say, or agree with what we say.
Because some of you definitely do disagree with us.
I've been called biased. I can't believe that. Tragic. Yeah, and if you like continuously like the content, subscribe. Do what you want. Yeah. All right. But getting into it, we get in with the Falcons. Let's go through what we already know.
Yeah, so branching off of the other ones, we had the Falcons winning week 1 against the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
We had a toss-up between the Falcons and Eagles week 2.
Mm-hmm.
We had the Chiefs beating the Falcons. Let's see here. Week 9, we had the Falcons beating the Cowboys. Cowboys are visiting Atlanta. Then Falcons are beating the Broncos in week 11. Bye week is week 12. 13 through 15, or actually 13 through 17 are all Falcons wins. So currently they are sitting at 8-1 in a toss-up. But we haven't gone to the rest of it. Hold your horses.
8-1 in a toss-up. Which, I mean, yeah, a lot of it's just based off of last ones. They have a pretty decent end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, we could go back and even just address week 18, which is just to wrap up the end of the year. Panthers at home, it's probably going to be a win.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. So now they're at 9.
So we have them winning out after their bye. But
that's pretty fair, honestly.
Looking at their slate after that, Chargers, Vikings, Raiders, Giants, Commanders, Panthers. We already have discussed that Panthers, Commanders, Giants, and Raiders are not going to be great teams. I think Commanders probably the best of the bunch, but yeah, Vikings. Now that we know about JJ McCarthy, I don't know. I still think they'll be competitive, but we already had it was what it was, and yeah, we gave them winning against the Chargers. So
I believe it's week 5 that we need to start at, right?
4, right?
4.
Against
4.
the Saints at home.
I will say the Falcons win against the Saints at home. Home field advantage is a very big thing in the NFC South, if I recall correctly.
And the Saints are just going to be so mid again that it's like, I don't know.
What do you want us to do? Can't do anything.
I think Buccaneers are like, I don't know what the Saints are going to do because they're going to be mid. They're not going to be bad. They're going to be mid because they're always mid.
Ever since Drew Brees left.
Yeah.
Drew Brees. Let me enunciate. So
win against the Saints, yeah.
Week 5, I want to say, technically this would be their first loss because we have the Falcons and Eagles as a toss-up.
We do have them losing to the Chiefs week 3, so that would technically
shoot.
be the first.
They're all red on here. I can't see. I will say the Bucks will beat the Falcons in week 5. Because I'm gonna say the Bucks and Falcons, they're kind of I'd say they're the most competitive in that division.
They are. But I'm thinking because that would be, is that a Thursday night game?
It is a Thursday night game.
But they are at home. October, so it's not anything too special. They're also indoors, so whatever.
They're fine.
I don't know. If I could see them splitting with the Buccaneers, but I don't know if week 5 at home is necessarily where. I mean, unless you have like better reasoning for them splitting here instead of in the other game.
I mean, I think they do split.
Yeah, I could see them splitting. It's just the loss week 5. And again, unless you have, I mean, there's obviously there are reasons that you could come up with. I'm not saying that there is no reason. I'm just not. I can't think of a reason right now why they would lose that Thursday necessarily at home, except other than the fact that you're coming off of Steelers, who are a tough team, Eagles, who are a good team, Chiefs, who are obviously a good team, and then Saints, who are a division rival. It's like it's a little rough start to the year, but rough more in the sense of like you just might get beat up. But I
They'll
mean,
bounce back.
yeah. So again, that's but other than that, I think like it should that home game I think is a game that should lean more towards the Falcons. So again, I'm just curious what your thought process was as for why that would be the loss there instead of the what is it week?
It's more just speculation, mostly because sometimes it's whenever there's a split, there's a weird split. Usually the away teams somehow win.
Yeah, I mean, again, they could be. It's because there's so much that goes into it. It's, what are they coming off of? Like, what's the stretch they're doing? Is it home or away? Weather, all that stuff. So, I
I
was
can
just wondering if you had like, oh,
no,
these are my reasonings, or it's just like a gut feeling.
it's a gut feeling more of.
All right.
I mean, we can. I plan to split them anyways.
Yeah, I was figuring it would have been a split because I think the Falcons are going to be good. Yeah, Matthew Judon, who's actually the edge that they were looking for. Maybe he's coming off of an injury and he's older, but again, they're trying to win now and plan for the future, so it's interesting. But you get Judon, you get Simmons with Jesse Bates, AJ Terrell. They got a good defensive backfield. You have an edge rusher. That defense should be scary. They're good at interior D line. Their linebackers are solid.
Yes.
I think their defense is going to be really good, and you already have the pieces on offense. Just need to use them. So, again, Falcons should be a good team, and at least make the playoffs. And in a division that doesn't look great right now, with one true competitor,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's kind of theirs for the taking. But yeah, I would see if maybe they split with the Saints. I think they probably split with the Buccaneers. Realistically,
Yes.
I think you win one, you lose one. Yeah, but I could if we're just saying that that's gonna be a split now. We could put that in. What week is that they play? Week 8 they play the Buccaneers.
Yep.
So that would be a win. Again, I could see it going either way. Which one it is. I personally think it'd probably be the home game, but that's just because home game. Literally, that's the only reason.
They're gonna split either way.
Yeah.
I don't care where it is. Sometimes it's just random.
So, yeah, and then you got
Week 6 against the Panthers.
Panthers.
Panthers tend to win really random games.
I
I don't know if it's going to be against the Falcons yet. So
Yeah,
I'm just going to kind of leave that as it is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, even at being at home, because I don't think that team is gonna be great still. I was still thinking a Falcons win.
Falcons win. I have the Seahawks winning against the Falcons in Week 7. Seahawks and Falcons, they tend to put up pretty decent matches here and there. And now, since both of them are starting to wind back up into decent teams again, supposedly, I do believe the Seahawks will get the better of the Falcons this one time. Just this once, probably. I don't know. I can see the Seahawks beating the Falcons at home. It's kind of more like a wake up. You need to actually, commit to that offense, I guess. I'm not worried about that defense. It's more that offensive scheme that I'm more concerned of right now.
And then we just have the Week 10 game, which would be the Saints
again. Saints and Falcons always split, I feel like.
I just don't, because the Falcons, I think, are like,
I don't think they're going to be like a 13-win team this year, though.
I'm not even looking at it as like what is the record. I'm literally just looking at it as are they better than the Saints? And I'm like,
They are, but you have to be realistic too.
yeah, and it's just the Saints. I feel like are only getting worse as they kick the can down the road, while the Falcons, again, they're bringing in a lot of older guys, but they're guys who have been able to perform, and you make changes. So it's just assuming that those pieces actually fix stuff. They should be significantly better than the Saints, but it is a game on the road.
Saints tend to do better at home, and also, like you said, Saints are mid. They're probably going to win 8 games regardless, and this might be one of those random ones where they do win.
They could. It's a division game, but it's like Dennis Allen isn't a great coach. Derek Carr's not a great quarterback. It's just
They're gonna win random games. You're gonna have to.
yeah. Whatever.
You have to give them their props where it's
I'll have
due.
them split with the Falcons, even though I don't.
I know you don't really agree with it. It's just
It
divisional
should be
games are
such a-
hard.
It should be such an easy division for the Falcons to take, because your one concern should be the Buccaneers, and I don't think the Buccaneers are gonna perform as well in the regular season as the
No.
Falcons will. But
I do agree with that. I'm just saying that in this case, Falcons won't have that division completely locked down. Because if I recall, NFC South teams most of the time split, unless it's the Panthers in recent memory.
yeah, but it's also the division's been super mid, poorly coached, and it's like, and again, we don't know what Raheem Morris is, but when you actually go and put in, you actually have the weapons, you have the pieces, and now you hope it's just like, is your coach actually the coach?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think honestly, as long as he doesn't suck, because they have one of the best rosters right now.
Mm-hmm.
They should easily win that division. And they still come out with, 12 and a half wins?
12 and a half wins, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think they're going to get 13 wins. 11 or 12 makes the most sense, in my opinion. They're not going to be like the Eagles or the Niners, where they're probably going to clutch that division this year. I mean, in the sense that they're going to have so many wins. Falcons are going to definitely win the division, in my opinion. It's just they're not going to have 13 wins to their name.
I don't know.
We'll see. We'll
I mean, it's a rough start to the schedule, but other than that, they don't have a horribly tough schedule. Again, they should have been a good team last year, and they weren't. And I think that they made steps to be a better team for this year.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just seeing what they do. But yeah, I also, again, I don't try and be like, oh, in my head they should be like an 8-9 win team, so that like they're gonna win these games to make it there. It's because what you could be an 8-9 win team, like last year. I mean, I guess Steelers were, but like you look at some of those teams and they are 8-9 win teams, but because of how things play out, they win 11 games. So I don't know. That's why I try and look at them individually, the games individually, and if they end up getting to 12, 13 wins, then that's what happens, because you can't.
Yes.
A 13-win team doesn't always. What should be a 13-win team doesn't always just go 13 wins just because they're that good.
No.
Things happen, so that's why I'm trying to look at it as individual games. But anyways, on to the Panthers.
You're rambling a lot,
I
which is good, but
am
also
a rambling man.
you repeat it a lot. It's okay. I repeat too. Don't worry. Carolina Panthers
Starting off against the Saints.
lose to the Saints. The Saints are at home.
That's just not gonna be fun. Week 2 against the Chargers. What did we have?
I have the rest of the list. Hold on.
Okay.
So we have the Chargers winning. Week 3, for some reason, we had the Panthers winning. We did say that sometimes they win random wins against certain teams.
And again, the Raiders aren't.
Raiders aren't that good this year, or probably not going to be as good this year.
Yeah.
Bengals beat them. Bears beat them. Falcons beat them. Commanders beat them. Broncos beat them. Saints beat them.
Giants.
This might be one where. Oh no,
What
Panthers
did we
beat the
have?
Giants. Panthers beat the Giants here. Okay, I was just trying to remember. The rest of the year isn't looking that good.
Because what
It's
we
Chiefs week 12.
that we had probably as a loss.
Yes.
Week 12, you said,
Yeah, 12.
not 11.
13. Probably another loss to the Buccaneers.
Um,
They are at home, the Panthers. Or do you think they're going to win the third game this year?
I think they'll probably. Because I don't think they're gonna be as bad as last year. I think they'll be slightly better.
Sorry.
They don't have. I mean, they're just.
Buccaneers will probably have their ups and downs. So I can give a Panthers win there.
Yeah, and that was week 13, right?
Yes.
So, because I mean, it's a home game. It's December.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, they're gonna get some wins, and one of them's gonna be a division win,
Yep.
at least. Then Eagles and Cowboys, I bet we had losses.
Yep. And they probably lose the rest of their season after the Buccaneers win in 13.
I mean, I could see them beating the Cardinals.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Because I think Cardinals are gonna be, again, up and down. They're not gonna be super probably consistent as they're building that team. So you look at it, Cardinals are gonna be
I can give the Panthers a win there.
a fringe team, so I think the Panthers probably sneak out a win there, and then probably lost to the Buccaneers,
Yep.
and
They lose out.
yeah, we do have them losing to the Falcons. Honestly, the Falcons wouldn't even need. That's probably a game where they don't even need to play their starters, though. That's why I was looking at it like maybe.
But they probably still lose.
1, 2, 3. So 4 wins.
4
for
wins.
The Panthers.
Better than last year. Double the wins.
Which I don't think they're going to be picking top 3 again.
No.
I think they're going to be a little bit higher. I don't know which games, because then again, we're also going heavily off of what we've picked before, and I mean,
Yeah.
it's we haven't picked the Panthers very often. But again, I don't think they won't be the worst team in the league.
They won't be
anymore.
as bad as last year.
So,
New Orleans Saints.
yeah, someone will be a little more interesting, a little bit more conversation to have. Obviously,
So
we
we
have
have
win week 1 against the Panthers.
lose week 2 to the Cowboys. Week 3 they lose to the Eagles. They lose to the Falcons and Chiefs 4 and 5. 6 we don't have any right here, so it's a Buccaneers Saints game. Buccaneers are visiting the Saints, so I'm going to think they win here.
Yeah, because I think the Buccaneers are probably gonna be likely a team that splits with everyone. They're probably gonna go 3-3 in division. Because I mean, I don't know. I feel like they didn't get that much better to the point where they, like, the one team they could sweep is probably the Panthers, because Panthers are probably, I say this, and if watch the Panthers go out, not even make the playoffs, but just be like an 8 and 9 team, and it's just like, well, ruin some playoff runs. But yeah.
So let's see here.
Buccaneers.
Broncos we have beating the Saints. Chargers beating the Saints in week 8. 9 they beat the Panthers in Carolina. Falcons beat the Saints in 10. Oh, Saints beat the Browns in week 11. Week 12 is their bye. Week 13, Rams visiting the Saints. Rams are going to be better. Better coach, better personnel.
This is true. We do have the Saints coming off of a bye and are at home.
Rams just have a better roster in this case, and I don't think they're going to do that well against that kind of a roster.
I mean, most likely, this is going to be a game that tips towards the Rams. But again, you have the Saints coming off of a bye. You have the Rams who have to travel from LA to New Orleans, which is a little ways. It's a day game, so Yeah.
Rams.
How much you get? I don't know. I feel like this is again kind of more of a trap game, especially with how they we have them starting. Because again, I think they're a mid team. I don't think they're a bad team.
Maybe they
And I
just beat
think
the Rams.
yeah, they
No.
could because I think they could beat the Rams. I think the Rams are susceptible to, some losses, like to the Saints, which is so. I feel like, with the rest and everything for New Orleans, and maybe they figure out stuff more. Not that I have a lot of faith in Dennis Allen, but maybe quarterback change or Derek Carr gets something going. Who knows?
Yeah. They still have Jameis Winston over there, right? Oh no,
No,
he didn't.
he's
No, he's
in
not.
Cleveland.
He's not over there anymore.
He is in Cleveland. They have Jake Hayner, I think, still, and
They have
Spencer Rattler.
Rattler. Thank you.
But I mean, who knows? Maybe Chris Olave has just like a really good year this year.
Maybe they start Spencer Rattler.
I don't have much
that
faith.
could happen.
It could happen.
It could happen.
I wouldn't put it past him. But yeah, that was against the Rams week 13. Week 14, they played the Giants.
Giants beat them there. We had the Saints beating the Commanders in week 15. Saints beat the Packers in week 16. One of those trap games. Raiders beat the Saints in week 17. And here's the split with the Buccaneers. Buccaneers win at home in week 18. So, what do you know? Another 8-9 season for the Saints. Unless we split the Rams game, but I don't think we had split that one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, oh wait, I have 7.
It's either 7 or 8 wins. Did you miswrite something?
I have 7. I have wins in week 1, 6, 9, 11. Whoa. 13, 15, and 16.
16, 15, 13, 11, 10, 9.
10?
Yeah,
Which was week 10?
Falcons.
Oh, did we have them?
Yeah, we had them beating the Falcons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I missed that one then.
I was about to say, I think you missed one.
I figured I did. I just was like, I have no idea which one it was.
8-9 season. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, 8 wins. They're
Yeah,
you just gotta make some changes.
pretty much.
just start your rebuild.
Stop. Just rebuild at this point.
Push it off so much, and you're just ruining, throwing the
Throw in the towel.
You're burying your own grave. But
All right.
We'll
and now we
see.
have the Buccaneers, right?
we do have the Buccaneers, which is mostly fleshed
It's
out.
only one game now.
But we could still talk. We could still talk some
I'll
of the
go
games.
over it. I'll go over it. So Buccaneers win week 1 against the Commanders, lose to the Lions in week 2. They win 3 games in a row against the Broncos, Eagles, and Falcons. They lose to the Saints in week 6 and lose to Baltimore in week 7. Beat the Buccaneers in week 8. Lose to the Chiefs in week 9. Week 10 is the only one we don't have yet. It's San Francisco visiting Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the Niners are going to lose that one.
No, and it's just like it's so tough knowing, especially because again the Buccaneers were they were a good team at times, they were bad teams at times. They couldn't run the ball, I think, which really hurt them, and they were points when the defense was good, but also would let up at bad times.
Mm-hmm. I do remember that.
So it's that, but you also you have Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, but they're getting older. So how much do they regress? How is that O-line looking after you had some injuries last year? So it's. I mean, you also don't know what they have in the rookies they got.
Exactly.
I still lean towards the 49ers. Obviously, a lot depends on the Brandon Ayuk trade, if that actually happens. But even like even going beyond that, because I think the 49ers will be fine without Brandon Ayuk.
Oh,
So,
yeah. They've got a loaded team.
Yeah,
And
I'm definitely leaning towards the 49ers.
yeah, because Niners shouldn't lose that game unless they fall off the face of the earth. Then week 11's the bye. Then we had week 12 and 13. They lose to the Giants and Panthers in that order. They beat the Raiders in week 14. We had a toss-up between the Buccaneers and Chargers in week 15.
Ah, nice.
And then week 16, we had the Cowboys winning. Week 17 and 18, they went out against the Panthers and Saints.
All right.
So that leaves them at a 9-7.5 record. So a 7.5 win season for the Buccaneers.
9.5. Right?
No. Wait.
9-7 and then a toss up, so it'd be 9.5. Right? 1,
You had it flipped, buddy.
5,
I think you flipped
6,
them.
7, 8. Well, now I have 8. That's not right. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8.5.
The difficulties of having someone writing it down and someone having it on their computer with the whole system, I can see right away. So
I have wins 1, 3, 4, 5, 8, 14.
No, they did not beat the Falcons in week 8.
They didn't?
No. There's the mistake.
You know what it was is I think that was the week. There was one week where you said
Oh, it was the toss. Yeah.
no, it's what you said is I think you actually slipped up and said the Buccaneers beat the Buccaneers, and I was like, I guess
Okay.
that's a win.
I guess it's a win.
So 7.5. That's
So
what we
it's
have.
7.5. That's currently so the Saints do a half a game better than the Buccaneers.
I mean, it's definitely feasible just because, again, you look at what the Buccaneers were last year. They snuck in just based off of tiebreaker. They got lucky they were tied record-wise with the Saints last year. I mean, I don't think it's impossible. Again, it's just hard to say. I think a lot of it is based off of other stuff. Maybe
This might be the season where that head coach that he shall be not named gets fired because they've been calling for his head for a while.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of Todd Bowles, but I still think he's better than Dennis Allen.
Oh, definitely, but better than Dennis Allen. It's just a lot of people have been like, Todd Bowles just sucks, man. Well, you can't do much because who are you going to replace him with?
Bill Belichick.
They've been talking.
But,
just kidding. Belichick isn't doing much these days, anyways.
They're probably going to take the year off. But I don't know. It's one of those that's difficult. There's a lot of new with the Falcons and Panthers. You have the Saints and Buccaneers, who we have as middle of the road because that's kind of what they were last year.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time,
yep,
like we don't know how the shift of the NFC, like the rest of the NFC South, is going to affect them. And, did they actually get better? Because, again, Baker did start to play better towards the end of the year. How much does that actually carry over? Or is that going to exclusively be just him at the end of the year, which could really hurt them? But,
we'll see.
I don't know. I think it'll be interesting. I think Buccaneers could sneak in I think Buccaneers are more likely to sneak in as a wild card. I feel like they have a wider range, which is why I was going to say maybe next year we look at doing like a different format, more of like a floor and ceiling thing other than this, because then this allows this to just turn into what it is, which is, that's just what the Buccaneers are left with.
Yeah, because another thing is that this is just based off of what we think will happen. This isn't like you said, floor and ceiling kind of thing. And realistically, I mean, between the two of us, this seems the most feasible as of right now. But things can automatically change as certain things has happened since last week So, I mean, last week being the 17th of August, things have happened since then. A couple injuries, a couple
Yeah.
trades.
There's been some moves. So again, it's changing, but I think again probably I think it'll also just make these more interesting is cutting out some of like the guaranteed wins and making it more, floor and ceiling, cuz then yeah, but either way, what we have is um we have finishing in first place is the Atlanta Falcons at 12.5 wins. Finishing in second is the Saints at 8 wins. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 3 with 7.5. And then the Panthers at 4. And I think,
4 wins.
I don't know, I think Panthers and Buccaneers probably have more wins than that this year.
We shall see.
But yeah, I mean, they play the NFC East. You get 2 easier teams and 2 really hard teams. So, not fun.
To be determined.
So,
I'm a little excited to see what that division ends up being because I know that 2 of those teams have that potential. Then there's the Saints and Panthers.
I mean, we saw what the AFC South has turned into, which is actually a competitive and interesting division. And I think the NFC South just kind of has to follow in those footsteps, which means Saints just eventually have to rebuild and Panthers have to, actually do something good. That is the NFC South, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you guys in our next and final prediction video before the regular season, being the NFC West.
We're going west.
Bye.
Bye.